The story begins in a fun, space-themed restaurant where we meet our main character, a shy young boy named Elio. He's there with his aunt, Olga, who now takes care of him ever since his parents tragically passed away in an accident. As they're sitting at the table, a friend of Olga's stops by and offers her condolences. You can tell it's still hard for both of them, especially for Elio, who now lives under Olga's care, trying to adjust to this new life. While Olga talks, Elio quietly slips away and sneaks into a nearby planetarium exhibit. Inside, he becomes completely fascinated by the display about the Voyager probe, a special space message that Earth sent out years ago, hoping to contact alien life. He listens carefully to the recording, eyes wide with wonder. Just then, Olga finds him and tries to get him to come back, but Elio can't stop thinking about the idea of life beyond Earth. He asks her, "Do you think aliens are really out there?" Meanwhile, way out in deep space, we see something incredible. The actual Voyager probe floating through the cosmos suddenly gets abducted by a mysterious force. That's when things really start to change. As the days go by, Elio becomes completely obsessed with space. He's no longer just curious, he's a full-on space geek. He even creates his own weird homemade space suit and draws signals in the sand, hoping that aliens will notice and take him away from Earth. He repeats this odd little ritual every single day. One evening, while he's out in his suit again, a kid named Bryce shows up and tells him about a flyer he found. It's an invite to join an amateur radio club. Elio jumps at the idea and immediately introduces himself as the club's president, even though he just found out about it. But before he can get too confident, another boy arrives and starts mocking him. As the boys argue, something strange happens. They receive a mysterious signal on the radio. Elio lights up with excitement. Is it from space? But the other boy keeps messing with him, pushing his buttons. During the struggle, Elio gets hurt. He ends up hitting himself in the eye. Frustrated and angry, he lashes out and punches the boy. Just as the situation escalates, some adults show up and break it up. Later, at the NASA facility where Aunt Olga works, she's clearly upset. She scolds Elio for causing trouble and asks him to behave because she has a very important meeting. That's when we find out something big. Olga works in the division that receives space messages. At the meeting, a super nerdy and passionate young scientist reminds everyone about the message that Earth sent into space back in 1977 with the Voyager probe. And now, he says, they might have finally gotten a response. He's so excited that he's already set up the satellites to reply, but he needs Major Olga's approval. Unfortunately, Olga doesn't believe him. She brushes off his enthusiasm and tells him to go home. Everyone leaves, but Elio has been hiding the whole time, listening in. Once they're gone, Elio sneaks up to the equipment, records his own message, and sends it into space. He's thrilled. On the way home, he packs his bags, convinced that aliens will hear his message and come for him. But Aunt Olga is beyond frustrated. She feels like Elio never listens and keeps embarrassing her at work. When she scolds him again, Elio snaps. He yells, "You're not even my real family." That hits Olga hard. She's doing her best to care for him, but it seems like nothing is enough. Later, Elio regrets what he said. He misses his parents so much, and everything just feels wrong. To help him focus and learn discipline, Olga signs him up for summer camp. But the moment he arrives, Elio realizes it's going to be awful. The same kids he fought with before are there, and they're ready to make his life miserable. That night, they gang up on him, wearing creepy masks and chasing him, trying to steal his piggy bank. Back at NASA, Olga starts receiving weird signals. Something's not right. The computers go wild, lights flicker, and a clear message appears on the screen. "Bring us your leader." Meanwhile, at camp, just as Elio is cornered and about to be attacked, time suddenly freezes. Everyone stops moving, except him. When he looks up, he sees a UFO hovering above. But instead of being scared, Elio is ecstatic. His dream is coming true. They've come for him. He's taken on an interdimensional journey, soaring through a colorful space void until he lands in a strange, glowing place. There, he meets a creature made entirely of liquid that calls itself a liquid computer. The computer welcomes him to the Communiverse, a vast organization of the smartest beings in the galaxy, all coming together to share knowledge. Other alien creatures start appearing, and when Elio steps up, they introduce him as Helium from Earth. One alien announces that Elio has been chosen as the new candidate to join their organization. If he passes the trials, he'll earn a shiny badge that proves he belongs. From here, Elio begins an amazing adventure. He meets all kinds of strange and hilarious aliens. One's obsessed with finding the meaning of life, another teaches him alien languages, and one even uses nanotech to give Elio a sleek, high-tech space suit. Elio even gets to visit a very weird but cheerful alien bathroom. Grateful and amazed, Elio thanks them for bringing him. One of the aliens smiles and says, "Of course, we received your message. That message was meant to come from Earth's leader, and now we're so glad to finally meet you, leader of Earth." Elio freezes. His eyes go wide. Leader of the what now? He gulps hard. Wait, I think there's been a mistake. But before he can confess, the room suddenly darkens. A holographic alert pops up, announcing an emergency council meeting. A new candidate has arrived. All the alien counselors snap to attention and head into the chamber. Curious, Elio tags along. That's when a shadowy figure steps into the light, an intimidating alien named Lord Griggan. He's tall, armored, and clearly used to getting his way. Lord Griggan speaks in a deep growl, "I wish to join your great organization. With my superior weapons, we will be the most powerful force in the universe." The room goes silent. Finally, one alien counselor speaks up, calmly but firmly. "According to our evaluations, you're not eligible for membership." Lord Griggan's expression turns from serious to furious. "You will regret this," he growls, then storms out, threatening to take everything by force. The entire room is filled with nervous chatter. The counselors look at each other, fear spreading. Everyone knows Lord Griggan is dangerous. Someone suggests negotiating with him to avoid a full-on war, but not a single counselor is brave enough to volunteer. That's when Elio raises his hand. "Hey, maybe I could talk to him?" The counselors turn to him, stunned. "You?" One of them asks, blinking. "Well, I'm already here. And if it helps, I am the supposed leader of Earth. I'm great at negotiations, and, I've got a scar." The aliens look at each other. Desperate for any hope, they agree. "All right, if you really are the Earth's leader, and you want to talk peace, we'll let you stay. But remember, you volunteered." The liquid computer floats over and says, "But first, protocol requires that a copy of you remain on Earth." With a squishy plop, the computer extracts a strand of Elio's mucus and uses it to form a slimy, human-like clone. It looks just like Elio, minus the attitude. Moments later, the clone is transported back to Earth, landing just as the real Elio would have been getting beat up at camp. Meanwhile, Elio gets to stay in the Communiverse and prepare for the biggest negotiation of his life. But first, he needs help. He seeks out an alien who knows everything about universal customs and diplomacy. Together, they brainstorm how to approach Lord Griggan. Back on Earth, and Olga pulls Elio's clone out of camp. She's surprised to see how polite and sweet he suddenly is. He's cooking, helping out, and even doing chores. For the first time in a while, Olga smiles with relief. Meanwhile, in space, Lord Griggan isn't wasting any time. He's already heading toward the Communiverse headquarters with a full fleet, ready to take everything by force. The counselors panic and shove Elio into a ship, reminding him he volunteered for this. Problem is, Elio has no idea how to fly. The ship wobbles, jerks, and spirals as it clumsily approaches Griggan's massive warship. Once inside, Elio is brought to the menacing Lord. He tries to keep cool. "So, what do you want in exchange for not destroying everything?" Lord Griggan growls, venting about being rejected and humiliated. "They said I'm not a great leader." Trying to keep things on track, Elio nods. "Look, if they don't see your value, that's on them. You don't need their approval to know your worth." Griggan seems to calm down, until Elio, reading off his hand, accidentally suggests, "Maybe you're not a great dad either?" Whoops. Furious, Griggan ends the meeting and throws Elio into a cell. Back on Earth, Olga begins to realize something's off. One night, the clone pricks his finger, then calmly reattaches it. Red flag. Suspicious. She plucks a hair for testing, but it slithers away before she can analyze it. Yup, definitely not her nephew. Back in the alien cell, Elio is bored out of his mind. He fiddles with the gravity controls and ends up floating into an air duct, which leads him face to face with a giant, slimy monster. But it's not a monster at all. It's a wide-eyed, squishy alien named Glorden. He's awkward, adorable, and plot twist, Lord Griggan's son. They talk. Glorden's armor is clunky and huge, and Elio jokes that he looks like a mini version of his dad. Glorden confesses that underneath the armor, he looks just like Elio, but it's a secret. So, to trade secrets, Elio confesses his own. He's not the real Earth leader. He was just pretending to belong. Surprisingly, this makes the two become fast friends. Glorden admits that he's tired of his dad's pressure and doesn't want to become a war machine. Later, Elio forms a plan. With Glorden's help, he escapes the warship and takes his new buddy with him. Then he contacts Lord Griggan and says, "I've got your son. If you want him back, promise to leave the communiverse alone." Griggan, seeing his kid being tickled half to death, gives in. "Fine, I'll leave them alone, but I will come pick up my son." Victory. Back in the communiverse, the council celebrates. Elio is officially accepted as one of them. All that's left is to choose his badge color. But before that, he wants Glorden to enjoy himself. Knowing Glorden's never left his hot planet, Elio gives him a special device to stay warm. The two go on a joyride across the galaxy. They eat weird food, learn weird greetings, and even throw up together. Good times. Meanwhile, Lord Griggan thinks his son is weak and insists it's time he wears his battle armor. When Glorden hears this, he gets scared. Elio encourages him, but Glorden doesn't want that life. He wants to be free. Elio has an idea. What if they make a clone of Glorden, just like he did for himself? That way, the real Glorden can stay behind, and the clone can return with Griggan. But when they spy on Earth, Elio notices something heartbreaking. Olga seems happier with his clone. He feels replaced. Still, he shows Glorden the clone plan, and Glorden hesitates. But Elio convinces him it's the only way. In the communiverse, the clone of Glorden is handed over to Lord Griggan, who puts him in the armor. At first, everything seems fine. Until it doesn't. The clone malfunctions, and Griggan realizes the truth. Furious, he taps into the clone's mind, discovers where the real Glorden is, and learns that Elio is a liar who isn't even the Earth's leader. Meanwhile, the real Glorden accidentally activates a ship and flies far away. Griggan, unable to find his son, loses control. He commands his fleet to destroy the communiverse. As Elio is about to be obliterated, the mind-reading ambassador steps in. Seeing Elio's true nature, just a scared kid trying to help, she sends him back to Earth for his own safety. Elio wakes up on a beach, where he sees Olga and his clone waiting for him. She rushes over, tears in her eyes. It turns out that Olga already knows the whole truth and is trying to communicate with the aliens to get her nephew back. The moment she sees him and hears his voice, she notices something in his gestures. The real Elio was back. Her eyes fill with emotion as she tells him, "You're the only one that matters to me." Elio, touched by her words, walks home with her. But just when things seem calm again, Elio spots something shocking. Glorden's ship, the same one he arrived in, is now in the hands of the military. Elio's heart races. His best friend is trapped and probably freezing inside that ship. They've got to save him. Elio, Olga, and even the friendly clone come up with a bold rescue plan. The clone steps up and sacrifices himself to create a distraction. He walks straight into the military's view and waves dramatically. It works. All the soldiers rush toward him, thinking he's the real threat. "Thanks for your service," Elio mutters as he sneaks into the ship. Inside, Elio finds Glorden curled up, shivering badly. The little guy's heating device is broken, and he's close to freezing. Elio tries to comfort him, but before they can do anything else, the soldiers catch them in the act. Thinking fast, Elio and Olga pull off one last trick, distracting the guards just long enough to hop in the pilot seat. Against all odds, they take off, blasting through the sky and heading straight into outer space. Olga's jaw drops as she sees the stars around her. "We're in space," she gasps. But Elio doesn't have time to explain. Glorden's condition is getting worse by the second. Desperate to save his friend, Elio decides they have to find a way back to the communiverse. There's just one big problem. They have no clue how to get there. Navigating space isn't easy, especially with so much debris floating around. Elio realizes they need help from someone on Earth who knows radio tech. So he calls Bryce, the nerdy guy who's always rambling about space and frequencies. Bryce connects him to someone who might be able to help. And surprise, it's the quiet, awkward coworker who works with Olga. Turns out, he's secretly a genius. Using his data and calculations, he gives Elio the exact location they need. After dodging space junk and navigating treacherous routes, they finally make it back to the communiverse and beg for help to save Glorden. But trouble's brewing. Lord Griggan, furious and heartbroken, has already captured all the universe's leaders. Then something unexpected happens. In front of everyone, and breaking his most sacred rule, Lord Griggan takes off his armor. He kneels beside his son and wraps him in a glowing cocoon to warm him up. Slowly, Glorden opens his eyes. His dad came for him. Gently, Lord Griggan tells his son to speak freely. Glorden hesitates, then finally says it. "I don't want to be a war machine, Dad. I want to be me." A long silence follows. Then Lord Griggan, the feared warlord, says something no one expected. "I don't understand, but I love you. You're the most important thing in the universe to me." With tears in everyone's eyes, Lord Griggan stands up and does something he's never done before. He apologizes to everyone. He releases the leaders and steps back. The crowd turns to Elio and smiles. He did what he promised. He helped save the communiverse. As a reward, they finally present him with the shiny badge that makes him an official ambassador of the universe. Elio beams. He did it. His dream came true. But then he notices something. His Aunt Olga is smiling, but her eyes look sad. She's trying to be strong, but she knows this means Elio will stay here, and she'll go home alone. Elio looks at her and realizes something important. "Wait," he says. "All this time, I've wanted to leave Earth. But maybe Earth is my real home, because you're there. And we're a family." The leaders nod, touched by his decision. "Then you'll never be alone again," one of them says. "You're one of us now, no matter where you go." With a heartfelt goodbye, all the leaders bid Elio farewell, especially his best friend Glorden, who gives him a tight hug. "I'll miss you," Elio whispers. Elio and Olga return to Earth, hearts full. But something amazing happens next. The members of the communiverse don't leave quietly. They reveal their ships to all of Earth, showing the whole world that aliens are real, and they're here in peace. And in the sweet post-credit scene, we see Elio lying on the grass at night, holding a strange glowing device. He presses a button, and a little voice echoes from it, "Glorden." They've found a way to stay in touch. Best friends forever, across the stars. Thanks for watching. If you loved this magical, musical adventure, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and ring that bell so you never miss another epic recap. Catch you next time, bye!